This is an MS Views and News program. Today we're talking to Brittany Quiroz, aka a hot MS, and she's a multiple sclerosis and disability advocate. Today we're going to be talking about living with an invisible illness and changing your perspectives. And we're going to talk about that right now. You've got such a good, your vibe is something else, man. You got the hat, you got the styles, you got the vibrant feeling of a camera, right? You also have these very serious health challenges and reconciling and finding the middle of that and finding your way through and finding your way forward is really what the strength of this channel, the strength of this community, and part of what we all do as a whole. So talk to me more about that. Like, how's this all developing for you?
Well, I figured out in the past year that getting really comfortable with acceptance, so didn't want to get comfortable with acceptance.
At all.
You know, after, well, I had a routine mammogram. It was my first mammogram. And I'm like, okay, routine mammogram, pancake squish. I got this, no problem. And then already they were finding things that they were concerned about. So they did a double biopsy and I'm like, oh, yay, pancake squish and needle, so much fun.
So much fun.
And then they found fibrocystic breasts, which is completely on both sides of my family, like everywhere. So they're like, you know what, you should do genetic testing. I'm like, awesome.
Sweet.
I'll do genetic testing, no problem. I came back with a positive mutation for CHEK2. And I guess they were able to calculate like the risk percentages. So my highest risk was breast cancer and colon cancer. So obviously I can't remove my colon. No. So I was like, cut them off, no problem. So I had a 60% risk of developing breast cancer. And like I said, both sides of my family, everybody, it was like moms, aunts, you know, grandparents, cousins. It was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like, no, I'm not even gonna. And it was crazy because everybody was like, look, you're only 32. Are you really wanting, or actually, no, I was 31. I've lost so much time this past year. Like there's no perception of time anymore. But I think everybody, like in my family and friends, their biggest concern was, you're so young. Are you really sure you want to do this and put your body through this? And I'm like, look, I already have MS. I don't need something else to worry about. And I'd rather combat the surgery now when I'm younger and my body's like a little bit more resilient than when I'm in my, 50s or 60s and stuff starts to get more middle-agey.
And I can't heal in the same way from this major surgery that I now actually need to have because I'm not 31. So like, well done. Again, this is what brings back to this topic. It's shifting perspectives. It's taking what health conditions are in front of you and being decisive and taking action on them, and being proactive and being like, all right, well, this is a whole, in my hand is this box is something that's really not cool. However, I'm going to shift how I look at it, and it's still the same thing. However, it's not getting me down and bringing my spirit down, my energy down, like it would if I was looking in this this way that I normally would have looked at it. I know it's a convoluted metaphor, but the idea of specifically shifting your perspective in the context of your health condition and how it kind of really is, it's more, people talk about changing perspectives so much. It's so tough to do. And
to do it. Yes. And when you're in it, it's so hard to do it. It's so hard because everybody's like, oh, she's being impulsive. Oh, she's making a snap decision. And it's like, when you have to almost like take yourself out of it and look at the bigger picture, because a lot of the medications that people with MS are on do come with a high risk of cancer risks. So I knew that I wanted to be on the top of the line medication, which I am. I started Tysabri about 6 months ago. And anyways, I couldn't go on medication prior to that. My neurologist didn't want me to because the world was ending. So
Sure.
So I knew that I wanted to have access and have less of a risk of running into the C word in my future. So by making that proactive decision to have the preventative double mastectomy, it's funny, I came out of surgery and I felt like such a weight was taken off my chest that, and I'm sure 90% of this may have been the pain medication that they had me on. I was just overall very giddy and happy, but my soul felt at peace for sure that I made the best decision for me. Now healing with it, that was the tricky part, because my body, it's funny, neurologically, my body was trying to figure out, where are your boobs?
Where are your boobs, child? Where they at?
We can't find them.
I can't find the left or the right boob. What's happening?
It was bizarre. It was like, I could almost like feel like neurological channeling, trying to like, you know, the wait, it's not there. Okay, it's not there. Yep. So my body was doing a lot of strange things while I was healing. Spasticity got 10 times worse. Muscle weakness was like, wow. Hold this cup. No. But I think for me, the emotional part of it, that was the hardest. Accepting my body all over again, getting comfortable with a body. You know, there's a zero nipple situation happening. So it's like, nipples are overrated. They're overrated. I'm not milking anything anytime soon. So, but you know.
All right, Brittany Quiroz, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. There's some acceptance in there that you're speaking about, and part of what this is this is all couched in living with an invisible illness, because you can't see the condition that you underwent the procedure for. You can't see multiple sclerosis. And so many things are like, just because I don't have an arm missing does not mean I am not going through some really thick health stuff right now. Right. And I need to keep my head, to keep my humanity close by, because it is threatened by all this pain, by all this procedures and all these calls and all these, like all of that. So I guess not even my point. I'm just more like, people like you, people like the viewers, us, we're all finding ways to stand tall on ourselves, as tall as we can stand on the day, even if it's that much.
Oh yeah, baby steps. And I do regret allowing myself to kind of get roped into the normal facets of how to cope after a surgery like this, and while dealing with MS. So I guess when I look at my timeline chronologically of what happened, it makes sense why I kind of got sucked into this process. And I'll tell you what the process is in a second, but it was my husband and I, John, and got married. So that was June of 2019, September, diagnosed with MS, January of 2020, mammogram, April biopsy, August mastectomy. By then we were already into the pandemic. So it was like, hey, this is hard. Hey, this is hard. Hey, this is harder.
But yo, this is hard.
Exactly. And I admit, and I think this is something that a lot of people with MS need to, I'd like to see people get more comfortable talking about it, is depression and anxiety, because it is so real. MS mood swings and MS depression is like so colorful. So I followed the advice of one of my doctors and got on 2 antidepressants, which helped really significantly for, I think, maybe the first 4 to 6 months.
There you go.
After that, I feel like I lost a good 9 to 10 months of the past year. There was zero motivation, lethargy, to the point where when I woke up in the morning, I physically felt drugged. Yeah. That's not a fun way to walk through life.
No, not at all.
At all.
Not at all.
And quite frankly, I think it put me in reverse of this positive, look at things from a wider and a brighter lens and a better perception sort of thing, because it was making me have 10 times more of a struggle fighting the daily things with MS that I was supposed to be fighting anyways, but it was reminding me of how much I was failing. So it's such a catch-22. It's like, hey, go on the antidepressants, but you know what? I know that was not the right decision for me and my body. I took myself off of them by myself about 3 months ago, and I feel completely back to myself.
Love it.
Completely.
Love it. If I'm going to continue my way forward, my perspective's got to change. My brain's got to change. My space with this pain that I'm in, and my sense of myself currently and in the future has to shift from the inside.
Right.
And that's something that's evident.
And I think for me, like in the beginning of, I'll call it a pilgrimage, because I'll be totally honest. This was like a pilgrimage for me to, be diagnosed, really start being honest about it, and start, getting comfortable talking about it, and putting it all out there, and then inspiring others to talk about it and get comfortable with it. But it's like, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. And that's a lot of the times what I think is like the common misconception of people that are motivational speakers, that it's always supposed to be positive. It's not. That is not reality, my friend. You're gonna have the crap days. You might even have crap months. Hello, I feel like I missed a whole year.
Yeah.
But it's what you do with it after. And I think we set ourselves up to have very, very high expectations of ourselves. Even on a daily basis, just with little things like, oh, today I was so tired I couldn't even fold the laundry. It's like, so what? It's still going to be there tomorrow. You know what I mean? My husband reminds me a lot of that. I will, he comes home from working all day, and I have my students at home, and I'm recording, in the studio and everything, but I still have high expectations of, well, I didn't do this, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do this. And I didn't cook this grandiose meal as an Italian chick from Boston. And he's like, just get takeout. And I'm like, what? You're fine with this? So we have these outlandish expectations that when we fall short, we beat ourselves up, and that is ridiculous.
It's weird. It's weird because in a lot of ways, if you had a friend who treated you the way that you treat yourself, you would probably see that friend less.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bye, Felicia.
That might be a little extreme, but you smell what I'm stepping in, so to speak.
Yeah.
And not more honesty, more kindness, more space to give yourself. That's really part of this, because like you say, these things aren't fun, man. These things aren't pretty. These things are. I'm working to use adjectives that do not dispel the horror. That is
the horror. The absolute horror.
Bottom line, these things are not cool. And you're out here, I'm out here, like being like, it's cool. Not saying that the condition is cool, not saying that what I'm going through is cool, but I'm still cool.
You're making it work. You have to make it work, as crappy as it is. And you have to advocate for you. I had a lot of a lot of cooks in my kitchen medically this past year.
Sure.
Saying, okay, well, you need to do this, and you should try this, and you should try this. And it's like, get out of my spice rack, because I did it your way, and I was a zombie, and it didn't work for me. Not to say that somebody else isn't going to need, pharmaceutical assistance to help them through adjusting to having, a body part removed. It was a mental thing. It was my body trying to get used to what was going on while dealing with, the new symptoms that I was seeing of MS. I also did move to a warmer climate. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, never mind.
We moved to Riverside County from Orange County, which is
okay.
It's consistently about 15 degrees hotter all the time.
It's a little warmer. It's a little warmer.
No, it's like we moved on Satan's butt crack.
Yes, it's true.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not okay.
So I am still waiting for fall. I'm a little resentful of the fact that today is going to be 95 degrees.
Look, I'm just, the idea of being in the woods, so to speak, the deep, dark woods, man, and you just going forward. It's not that you're like trying to get out of the woods, but you don't want to stay here.
Right. No, you have to keep moving.
You don't want to stay here. And as you are going toward whatever it is in you at that moment, like whether it's a new regimen, whether it's a new set of pills, or like whatever it is, right. That you are like, no, it's going to be different this time. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I do that thing regularly, right? Right. The horror of the disease is what sort of gets that going, but it's you and it's your perspective and it's your outlook that's going to keep you focused on that path and together when it's hairy, and it's just not good right now.
And we have to learn to like when it's hairy, because you know what? It's our mess. It's our mess. It's my mess. I know all of my flaws. I know all of the ugly, all of the horror. And, you know, it's up to me if I choose to be proactive with it and be constructive with it and do something with it. Right now I'm working on my next album with my partner and co-writer. She also happens to be my mother. She's amazing. Kristen Spath. And it's all motivational, uplifting music. And I've been pouring myself into that for the past year. And I think it came from a place of really allowing myself to be super vulnerable. I'm the fixer. I like to fix everybody and everything. Like if there's a snail, I'm not even kidding. If there's a snail on the sidewalk, I pick it up and I move it because he's going to get squashed because he's an idiot walking on the sidewalk.
It's true.
I fix everybody and everything. So I guess to allow myself to be a little bit more vulnerable in the really, really dark, ugly times and make something beautiful out of it, that was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And this is what this year is going to bring to the forefront for me.
Wow. Yo, that's what's up. Brittany Quiroz, where can people find you? What's happening? You're a hot mess. What's the vibe is happening. Let's go.
I'm on the gram. I'm trying to learn how the young cool kids are talking because I feel old and lame. You can find me on Instagram. It's a hot ms, AHOTMS. Also my website, www.ahotms.com. I appear on Facebook, but I'm primarily on the gram.
No, she's out here just as I am out here, another person with MS, making sure that other people with MS understand that they are not alone.
No.
So thank you for coming in the space with me, to share this space with me and us. And thank you. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys on another MS Views Now.